Okay. Thank you and welcome to the Monday, April 27th, 2026 City Council meeting for the City of Lamar. I'm Mayor Kurt Crespin. You know, one of the biggest complaints that I've heard over the last 7 years as the mayor has been there's nothing to do in this town. Yet this past weekend, I went through on Saturday alone, there were so many different events going on. We had the soccer fields were busy with kids events with the Parks and Rec soccer program. We had an event with the Wild West barbecue cook-off that was happening in Willow Creek Park. Saturday night, we had the daddy-daughter dance. And over the next few weeks, we're going to have so many more events. So the springtime is just a great time in Lamar for activities, events, and things to do. So if you're not sure, if you don't have something to do, take a look around Lamar. I mean, there's so many great things to do. The City of Lamar crew over this past week has been working really hard and diligently on cleaning up over at North Gateway Park. They did some improvements. We want to thank Brennan Aggregates who supplied us with new sand for the beach area, which is a great amenity that people love to be able to go out there and swim at the beach area. Just so many different things, whether it's fishing, archery, you have the beach volleyball there, you have the swim area, we have the city swimming pool. We're going to have a community social event coming up in July. So there's just a lot to happen. If you don't know what to do, follow the Lamar Parks and Rec page on Facebook, follow the City of Lamar page, the Lamar Chamber of Commerce, PEP, or any of the other organizations, and you'll find plenty to do in Lamar. It's a great community. There's a lot of great events coming up, and it takes a lot of hard work for these organizations to put these together. But they can't continue to put this together if nobody attends. So I encourage everybody to get out there, appreciate what we have and enjoy it, and let's all get involved over this next spring and summer. With that said, I'm going to move on to the City Council meeting. First off, we have Jeff Alexander here tonight to give us our invocation. Jeff?
Let's pray. Our Father, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts for all your mercies. Lord, we loving this wonderful weather, but Lord, we could sure use some rain, and we would ask that you would send some rain. And we just ask for your blessing upon the meeting tonight, for the council, for Lord, those who administer the affairs of this community, keep it safe, the fire protection and the police. We just ask your mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Headley, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the time is now 7:03 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez,
Here.
Mark Henley,
Here.
Jerry Jenkins. Here. Kurt Crespin.
Here.
David Zavala.
Here.
Brad Johnson.
Here.
Brent Bates.
Here.
Kristen Swartz. Here. Mitch Hannes.
Here.
Lance Clark.
Here.
Okay, we've had an opportunity to review the agenda. I did not see any items that needed to be added. Did anyone else?
No.
Okay, with no changes to the agenda, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Looks like we did have one check. Is that correct? That we needed to separate out?
Yes, it was check number 104637. To Gonzalez Unlimited, payment date of 4/22/26 for $1,965.20.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda minus the one check?
So moved.
I'll second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right, so I'll entertain a motion for the one check.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the check as a separate item. For Gonzalez Unlimited, check number 104637 in the amount of $1,965.20. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, moving on to the public comment portion of our meeting. During the public portion meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear at the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and of course, that's at the discretion of the council. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak to the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll just remind everybody that this is your time as a community. If you want to talk to the council, we try to make as many opportunities for you to interact with your council as possible, and this is one of them during the regular public meeting. So if you do have something, a concern, a question, or want to talk about an event, this is a great opportunity for you to come in and tell the council and advise us what's happening with your organization or group or household. So hope you would take advantage of that. With that said, we'll move on to the city treasurer's report. Kristen?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Grant update, we did get the local planning capacity grant application submitted. Thank you for everybody working on that. And that was really all I have on grants. In your packet, I did include the first quarter 26 financial information. That's January through March. Just keep in mind, it hasn't been audited and we're still working on some things, especially the sales tax fund and some things like that. But most of the departments and funds, that's what they've spent as of March 31st. So that's in your packet. I wanted to announce that I had our new utility billing and payroll processing clerk start today. Her name is Kylie Parker. She's going to work with Tony for a couple of weeks. Tony's last day will be May 8th. And we will be having an event for her retirement from 3 to 5 on Friday, May 8th over at the community building dance room. So we're moving forward with that. So I wanted to let everybody know that. And that was all I had, unless you guys have questions for me.
I don't have any, thank you.
Well,
Okay. All right. Any other questions or anybody else? Seeing none, we'll move on to the city clerk's report. Linda?
So I just wanted to let everybody know that sales tax, that we've been working on the sales tax module in Tyler. It's about 75% towards completion. So we have our final data dump, I believe, on Friday. And then we'll do our go live sessions sometime the following week.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Okay. That leads us to the city administrator report.
All right, thank you. I have a lot of updates for you. The Arkansas Valley Wind and Percussion Ensemble spring concert is tomorrow night, April 28th at 7 p.m. at the Lamar High School, and kids are free with a ticketed adult. The Chamber of Commerce has their Cinco de Mayo festival on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Enchanted Forest. That looks like a lot of fun. The District 6 CML Spring Meeting is on May 21st in La Junta. If you want to go, please let Mary know. We will get you registered and get you going. Saturday, May 16th, the Lamar Days at Willow Creek Park. I'm super excited about this. It'll be my first Lamar Days. And I've got an entourage from Colorado Springs coming. My wife is recruiting. I think they've got a van and maybe a bus to follow. My mom will be here from Tucson for that. So she's excited, and I hope it lives up to her expectations. I'm sure it will. For department updates, we have a follow-up meeting tomorrow regarding the Lamar Inn with our eminent domain attorney to talk about what adjustments we need to make in our LRA documents to be able to pursue eminent domain for blight reduction. I found out earlier today that the candidate we had for the communications and PR position declined the offer. But about an hour after that, we got 2 more applications from candidates that look like they're qualified, and they seem to be, they're local. So that's a good thing. Common Grounds is the first Wednesday of every month, and we've had declining participation in that. And so the May 6th Common Grounds is going to be canceled, and we will be working on new engagement options so to make it a little more exciting, a little bit more accessible for folks. And directors and I are having a meeting on Wednesday to talk about how we can reach out to
to the folks that are interested in each department. The Willow Valley water line replacement has started. So if you see projects out there, that's a good thing. It's bringing the water mains out from underneath the homes and the backyards out to the main streets where it's going to be a much easier and to service. We found out late Thursday of last week that Saturday, June 29th, we will be having a fly-in at the airport. The EAA fly-in, which is the Experimental Aircraft Association. There are 18 chapters in Colorado and none in Lamar or Southeast. So we're expecting a lot of pilots to come in Lamar. We'll have more details. It's going to be an event for the public as well as the pilots that want to fly in. And as more details are developed, we'll get that out there. And then I know we've had a lot of questions about the speed camera project with Chief Ritter. My understanding is that contract and information is with Lance for review. And I expect to have an update either at a work session or an agenda item soon to update the council on where we're at with that. And that's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
You answered my question.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Any other questions for the city administrator? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to reports and correspondence from the council.
Planning and zoning met. I and David had the opportunity to meet with them, and what they met about is on the agenda for tonight on agenda item number 1. And that's basically all that we visited about a little bit there. And for the Lamar and Parks Recreation side, I have nothing to bring back to you guys this time. So that's all that I have this evening for you guys.
Okay. All right, Mark.
No reports or correspondence.
All right. How about Jerry?
Yeah. We met with Lamar Housing. Everything's still going good. Their apartments are rented out and stuff. So they're doing really good there. And she wanted to thank Mitch for his help. Him and his code enforcement officers were a big help for them. Also with public safety, we didn't have a quorum, so we couldn't have a meeting that we could vote and stuff. But it's really disappointing because we have some awesome ladies that are trying to get the neighborhood watch program going, and they're doing really good. Matter of fact, Mitch ordered us some neighborhood watch stickers for the windows, but to get citizens and even the staff around here that needs to help us that don't come. So I don't know what else to do. I mean, and I know these ladies, I'm not giving up either because I'm going to continue helping them. And I understand you were at a meeting and stuff, but it's kind of disappointing. As for the library, I wasn't able to make that meeting because I had to work that day.
So is it possible to get some officers at the next one so they could discuss that, or the next neighborhood watch meeting to kind of go over what they need or don't need, or?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
And that's a challenge with the number of officers we have and what they're being asked to do. Having them come to a regular meeting just to be there in case there's questions. So what I have been asked by the police department is if we have specific questions, or we can put them at the beginning of our meeting so that they can get the information in there. And the other thing I'm looking at, and I would ask the neighborhood watch board when we start, is if we can have a civilian representative from the police department, whether Colleen or Kenzie or somebody who might not be responding to calls right at that moment, who can dedicate some time to represent and to probably has a little bit more information than.
But it's hard when they have questions and I don't know, you don't know, it has to come from an officer or whatever, what the do's and don'ts that they can and cannot do. So that's basically.
And I think the hope is that the neighborhood watch will help alleviate some of you would hope that it would alleviate some of the extra burden on patrols, but I know you never know.
Right.
It's going to play out. So it could cause more, but hopefully it won't.
Yeah, but we'll do our best to have an officer there.
Okay.
At least part of the meeting.
Okay. All right. David.
No, I don't have anything at the moment. Like Joe said, we both attended the meeting, the planning and zoning for the 220 Holly Street, which I think there's going to be good things from here on out. And like you say, we're open for business.
Brad?
PEP met on Monday and they had a guest speaker that spoke on recycling, which was real informative, and just want to encourage everybody to recycle when possible. And they also, PEP was looking at re-electing officers, and that's about all they discussed this meeting. That's all I have.
Hey, Brent?
I have nothing at this time.
Okay, for correspondence, I have, of course, as the mayor, I get a lot of different calls, various topics, and one of the ones that I've received the most calls about recently has been about Hartman and the town of Hartman and what's happening in the town of Hartman and what's the city of Lamar doing about Hartman. But I want to make it very clear that there are two different entities jurisdiction wise. We have no jurisdiction in a community that is not our own. Our police officers do not have a jurisdiction in a community that's not our own. So really, we have stayed out of it because it is not something that we are meant to get involved with. I know the county commissioners, since it's within their county, has been diligent with working with it, and as well as the sheriff's departments and all the other departments. But I wanted to at least express why we haven't gotten involved is because of our jurisdictional restrictions. And, we want to make sure that we're being a good neighbor to all of our communities. And that's why we stay involved with them and we try to keep open communications and opportunities to work together. But at the same time, we let their councils and their administration handle the business of their community, as well as the community members handling their communities as well. So that's why we haven't gotten involved. That's why we don't go to the meetings. We don't participate in that. And I just wanted to let everybody know where our stance was on that as a city because of those requirements. So we hope that they work it all out. We wish them the best. And, that's about all we can say on that. With that said, we'll move on to the next section of our meeting, which is old business.
Just a second. Diane Poole texted and said that they had a really good turnout for their barbecue cook-off. They had one team that came from Sydney, Nebraska, and this was his first time ever being to Lamar. Really liked the community. Everybody was friendly, and he competed and sold food. So he will be back next year. They had 16 teams compete for the green chili contest also. So it was really good. And she said she wanted to thank the Parks and Rec Department for all the hard work they did on the park and getting it ready for them.
Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so we will move on to the old business. And the first order of the old business is the second reading of the 220 Holly Street LLC ordinance. Now, this is for the annexation petition to annex in the additional property of the shovel ready project, which is being called Project One, which is behind or just west of JR's Country Store. So I can go ahead and read that real quick. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado, annexing to the City of Lamar, Colorado, certain real property known as the 220 Holly Street property. Whereas the City of Lamar, Colorado City is a home rule municipal charter of the state of Colorado, duly organized and operated under the Constitution and laws of the state of Colorado. And whereas the City Council has the authority pursuant to the Home Rule Charter and the Municipal Annexation Act, Colorado Revised Statutes 31-12-101 et sec, to annex property into the city limits of the City of Lamar, and whereas the city received a petition for annexation for the property known as 220 Holly Street property, described in Exhibit A attached hereto, requesting the property be annexed into the city limits of the City of Lamar, Colorado. And whereas the City Council passed Resolution 26-02-01 on February 23rd, 2026, which concerned the city receiving and accepting the annexation petition and initiating the annexation procedures. And whereas the city council passed resolution 26-03-01 on March 9th, 2026, which amended the previous resolution for the purpose of setting the public hearing date on March 13th, 2026. And whereas the city council held a duly noticed public hearing published in accordance with Colorado Revised Statutes 3112-108 subsection 2 to consider the eligibility of the property to be annexed. And whereas the city council finds that the property meets the requirements of section 30 of Article 2 of the Colorado Constitution, the Home Rules Charter, and the Colorado Revised Statutes 3112-104 and 3112-105, and is eligible for annexation to the city of Lamar without an election. And whereas the city council finds that it is in the best interest of the city to annex the property within the corporate limits of the city of Lamar, Colorado, and now therefore be it resolved by the city council of the city of Lamar, Colorado, section 1, the recitals contained above are incorporated herein by reference and are adopted as findings and determinations of the city council. Section 2, the property is more particularly described in the petition and in Exhibit A attached hereto and incorporated herein, is hereby annexed and included within the corporate city limits of the city of Lamar, Colorado, in accordance with law. Section 3, the city council hereby directs staff to complete all necessary procedure requirements for annexation of said property to the city, including 1, filing of the recording, 3, certified copies of this annexation ordinance and the maps of the annexed property containing the legal descriptions of the property annexed hereby with Prowers County Clerk and Recorder, and 2, filing the original of this annexation ordinance together with a copy of the annexation maps with the city clerk of the city of Lamar, Colorado. Repealer, all ordinances, resolutions, and bylaws and regulations of the city in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent only of such inconsistency. This repealer shall not be construed to revive any ordinance, resolution, bylaw, or regulation, or part thereof heretofore repealed. Severability, should anyone or more sections of the provisions of this ordinance be judicially determined invalid or unenforceable, such judgment shall not affect, impair, or invalidate the remaining provisions of this ordinance. The intention being that the various sections and provisions are severable. Effective date, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect 30 days after publication following the final passage and adoption. So this would be the final passage and adoption. And if it is passed by the council tonight, this property will be annexed within 30 days after publication. So, council, what would you like to do?
I move to a motion to approve the annexation of 220 Holly Street.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
And it should now be ready for annexation. Congratulations to the O'Hearns. All right, moving right along, we'll go on to new business. We have proclamation number 26-04, a proclamation declaring the first week of May as Youth Week. We do have Joe Stagner Jr., Exalted Ruler for the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks here tonight. Would you like to speak about this?
Thank you, Aaron.
Can you come up to the, sorry.
Here for this. First, I would like to apologize for my tire. I work and I live in Hasty, and there's no way I was going to make it back out there, change and make it back for your meeting. But good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Joe Stagner. I am the current exalted ruler at the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks Lodge 1319, just south of Lamar here. And we would like to thank you for considering our request for the proclamation during the first week of May as Youth Week. Throughout the year, we do many things that revolve around the youth, such as hoop shoot, soccer shoot, student of the month. We do school scholarships, a variety of other youth activities, Easter egg hunt. We try to make it fun for our youth and get them involved and let them know that we're there behind them. During May, we plan to participate in the Lamar Days to let individuals and families know who we are as the Elks and what Elks represent and what we offer to the community in the surrounding areas. Again, I'd like to thank you for the time. Consider our request.
Okay. Well, I can go ahead and read this proclamation. Proclamation number 26-04, a proclamation declaring the first week in May as Youth Week. Whereas the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Oaks has designated May 1st through the 7th as Youth Week to honor America's junior citizens for their accomplishments and to give fitting recognition of their services to the community, state, and nation. And whereas the BPOE Lamar Lodge 1319 will sponsor an observance during that week in tribute to the junior citizens of this community. And whereas no event could be more deserving or of our support and participation than one dedicated to these young people who represent the nation's greatest resource and who in the years ahead will assume the responsibility for the advancement of our free society. And whereas our youth need the guidance, inspiration, and encouragement which we alone cannot give in order to develop those qualities of character essential for future leadership and go forth to serve America. And whereas to achieve this worthy objective, we should demonstrate our partnership with youth, our understanding of their hopes and aspirations, and a sincere willingness to help prepare them in every way for the responsibilities and the opportunities of citizenship. Do we have a motion to approve this proclamation?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Now therefore, I, Mayor Kirk Crespin, Mayor of the City of Lamar, do hereby proclaim the first week in May as Youth Week and urge all departments of government, civic, fraternal, and patriotic groups and our citizens generally to participate wholeheartedly in its observance. Given this under my hand and seal of the City of Lamar, this 27th day of April, 2026. And I will give you, is this their copy? There you go, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
For you. Okay. Moving right along, we have an acceptance of an MOU between the Lamar Police Department and the Data Pilot R Rescue. This is initiated by Chief Kevin Ritter. Chief.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Just in summary of this agenda item, we are going to ask that an MOU be accepted for the procurement of forensic data software for the period of 1 year through Data Pilot. They developed this software, and Data Pilot also partners with nonprofit organizations to cover the initial cost of some of this software. And we put in for that and were awarded the coverage of that software. Included in that information is what it would cost. It's $44.95. That's also to train the users to get certified in the use of that software. And the software is designed to be used to investigate crimes against children, sexual exploitation, things of that nature. And what it does is it pulls the data off of various sources, including cell phones, computers, any other sources to track where this information comes from and where it's going. And we can use it to extract all that data in order to get a case if we have some of that information and those tips to further that. Again, the only request on our behalf, on their behalf for us, is that we provide some limited data about what we're using it for and some numbers if they request. It goes to the investigations unit. So how many cases we use the software, what's the outcome, to know that the company or the profit organization is going to know that the software is being used for what it's supposed to. Again, it's not a grant. It's not a contractual agreement in any way. It's just saying that we're basically gifted this software to use. And after the period of 1 year, if we find that it's beneficial and want to keep with this company or explore another option, then we can enter into a contractual agreement at that time for the services, which I think is going to be a little bit less. It's $2,000, but that's next year. This is just pertaining to the free use and coverage of the software.
Okay. All right, council, do you have any questions for the chief?
Couple things I noticed under, and this might not matter, under general information, it had Chief Miller's information on the Data Pilot quote.
Yeah, I think that was Kyle. I'm sorry, not Kyle. Correction, that's what you said, Chad. Yeah, he's the commander of investigations.
That's right. I mixed them up in my head.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so did I.
The other thing, and this would be a question for Lance and Kristen, it says it's in agreement with Lamar Police Department. Does it need to be with City of Lamar? I just
It,
know in the
it really
past-
does need to be with the city of Lamar, but
Okay.
because they're not an entity. So
Lance, have you had a chance to look over this MOU?
I don't have any issues with the MOU. It does designate the police department as the representative. But it does have a signature line for the mayor as well.
I did see that.
On the last line.
Mhm.
Okay, so we could accept it the way it is, do you think? Or should we have it modified to the city?
I think the only change that would need to be made is that it say the city of Lamar, and then it could even say through the Lamar Police Department, but council can approve it with that change.
I was gonna say expiration date on it's the 30th, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve with those changes that were mentioned by city attorney.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a contract with Riverside Communication for advertising. This was initiated by Sue Lathrop. Since I am a partner with Riverside Communications, I will turn over this item to our Mayor Pro Tem, which is Brent Bates. Brent?
The library would like to enter a one-year contract with Riverside Communications LLC for radio advertisements at a much reduced rate. For the purchase of 5 ads a week at 1 per day on each station, the library will receive a donation of 2 additional ads per day per station, totaling 30 ads per week. The cost for this is $60 per month per station, and we would run through March 2027 for a cost of $1,440. This was done on a trial basis previously, and it seemed to be effective, Sue says, as program numbers are doing well. It helps to get the word out there with all the programs they run, and I also want to shout them out because their social media has been on fire lately. I've been enjoying their videos and their little skits they've been doing. It also mentions they are waiting for more information from KVAY. I know Mitch had requested that they spread the love and make sure they're getting quotes for both sides, so they are still waiting on information from KVAY regarding additional options within their station. What would the council like to do?
is there an actual contract? It says it references a contract and I don't see one attached.
I just see a quote here.
It's just a quote, basically. There's not a verbal, or there's not a contract. It's per the numbers that are on that.
Okay, it just says finalize the contract and it references contract in there several times. So I was just wondering if there was gonna be a contract.
Maybe the recommendation should have just read, give permission to pay the bill. Yeah, and I've done work with KLMR before, and there's generally just a quote and a bill you're sent.
Yeah, that's fine. It was just deceiving in the commentary that it said there would be a contract.
Thank you for clarifying that, Kirk. Any other comments or questions from council? I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that.
We have a motion to approve paying this bill from Councilwoman Jerry Jenkins and a second from Councilmember Joe Gonzalez. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of with Mayor Crespin abstaining?
Okay. Ready to hand it back?
Back to you.
All right. Thought I was gonna have to wrestle him to get it back.
I think I did a pretty good job for my first one ever.
Yeah, that was good. You did great.
Run enough meetings on the side, so should be
Yeah.
able to get that down.
Okay, number 4, ratify approval of resolutions 26402 to allow this for submission of funding requests to DOLA's local planning capacity grant program. This is initiated by Linda Williams, it looks like.
Yeah, so this is just the phone poll that I did last week to ask for to allow us to submit the DOLA local planning capacity grant program that Tess, Kristen, and Anne Marie have been working on.
And this is for Proposition 123, which was the local capacity for building or for housing, is that correct? Good enough? Okay. Okay, so the phone poll was unanimous with all of the council members participating in the phone poll, so we would just need to ratify that.
I make a motion to ratify approval of resolution 26-4-2 requesting funding from DOLA.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve it. All those in favor signify with an eye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, agenda item number 5 is a discussion regarding May 25th and June 22nd for the city council meetings. Mitch, would you like to talk about these?
Sure. May 25th is Memorial Day and the city is closed. That's also the fourth Monday, or the second city council of the meeting of the month. The same thing happens well, not the same thing, but June 22nd is the first day of the CML conference, which most council members and myself are attending. So what we needed to do is find out, do we want to reschedule those, the second meeting in May and the second meeting in June? Do you want to combine them to a common meeting at some point, or reschedule them for a different week, a different Monday?
I think for Memorial Day, we could probably do it the next day, which is the Tuesday, the 26th. But the CML conference is all week long, so unless we move it to the following week, I don't see how we could really bump that within a time frame that's going to be worthwhile.
It seems like it's a kind of slower part of the year for our agendas where we've the last 2 years canceled and not really ran into too big of a problem of missing that meeting in the middle of the summer. I just remember like the one before and after gets a little long, but sometimes they get a little long.
Okay. So, depending on what the council thinks, I would recommend maybe we just look at the 26th for May, and then we just cancel the one for the 22nd of June and we just skip it on the 22nd.
Need to be bills.
But we would need to allow the treasurer to pay bills for that,
Need to do that.
for that one. So what do you guys think? I mean, that's just my opinion.
Well, that sounds like a plan for me. I could do May 26th and cancel the other one and still allow the treasurer to pay the bills.
They could also make May 26th work and then cancel the second meeting would be on the June 22nd meeting.
And I can do May 26th. Caveat that I'm on emergency surgical call at the hospital on that Tuesday, so if an emergency should arise, I would have to excuse myself and leave. So,
I'm okay with it.
I'll be okay with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So do we want to make a motion? Does somebody want to make a motion to do that, the 26th, and then cancel out the 22nd with giving the treasurer the ability to pay bills on the 22nd?
Make a motion to move the meeting on May 25th to Tuesday, May 26th, as well as to cancel the meeting on June 22nd and allow the treasurer to pay bills.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Okay.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is miscellaneous items. Do we have any miscellaneous?
I have one thing, and I guess I could have spoke on it in correspondence, but I've had, to your point of people sometimes complaining there's nothing to do. Inversely, I've had a lot of community members reaching out and asking for when is this event happening? I want to remind everyone to both utilize the City of Lamar's calendar on our website, as well as the Lamar Chamber of Commerce. And hopefully in the future, when we have a communications and PR person hired, they can collaborate more with the chamber to make sure our calendars line up. But almost every event in the City of Lamar is on those two calendars. And if it's not, go to the Prowers County website because their calendar has it too.
Very good. We were supposed to be on the KLMR last meeting and David couldn't make it. Do we have somebody that can go tomorrow, or I can
Go ahead.
Can you do that one tomorrow? Okay. Yeah. I didn't talk to KVAY yet, so I'll call them and see if we can do the next meeting and we'll get into a rotation that way. I'll call them tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
I do want to, I have one thing, if
Okay.
possible. I do want to point out that we have a guest in the audience today, Natalie Aguiano. She is the building official from Ulysses, Kansas. She was here today and is here tomorrow to help us just gain some experience with our building department and our community development and our code enforcement. Natalie's been a building official for 18 years, roughly. Okay. So she's got a lot of great experience working in a smaller community, and just from my conversations today with her, she's given us a lot to think about, and she's taken some stuff from us that she's gonna incorporate back into her community. So I wanted to point out that she's here today. And also on the record to thank City Manager Luke Grimes for letting her come out and do this.
Yes, thank you very much for doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I had one more thing that I forgot to mention during my report. My accounts payable clerk got her degree,
Oh,
and so she has her bachelor's in accounting.
congratulations.
Yes, I'm so
Is
proud
that
of
Aubriana?
Aubriana. Yep, Aubriana
job.
Salazar. And she's a mom and just bought a new house and full-time job, and she finished school. So I'm very, very proud of her. And we're excited for what it's going to bring for the future.
That's amazing. Great.
And just one last thing, I'd like to congratulate one of our firefighters, Elijah Nielsen, and his new wife, Graciana, were married this weekend.
Oh,
And so it was nice to attend their wedding and see that they're much loved by our city. So I just want to wish them happiness and a good long marriage. Elijah, you're well loved.
very good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, if there are no more miscellaneous items, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which are two executive sessions. We have two executive sessions coming up for the discussion of personnel matters under Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6-402 subsection 4 subsection F, which is a discussion in planning for the city administrator's 6-month probationary period evaluation and review. And number two will be for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and or instructing negotiators under Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6-402 subsection 4 subsection E regarding economic development matters. There will be no decisions coming out of these executive sessions, so we will immediately adjourn the meeting after the executive sessions. So do we have a motion to move into the executive session?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move into the executive session. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
All right. As I said, there will be no decisions coming out of the meeting. Our next meeting is Monday, May 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. We thank you for joining us.